We are on. What's up, everybody? You guys ready for the intro for the YouTube people who get a little bit of bonus content up top?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. Woo.
Shut your hole!
All right, yeah. Wow. Let's do it again, baby. Hello. Whoa. Woo. Woo. Welcome to the Comedians of Wrestling podcast, the podcast where comedians dissect the wrestling to an unhealthy degree. I am your host, the host with the most viral stand-up about professional wrestling, Dan Black, a.k.a. Dunsky, Black Amora, a.k.a. Donnie Wrestling. Donnie Wrestling, a.k.a. the modern day goof and spoof Haraja.
Thanks for nothing. You're dismissed. Bye-bye.
Now shake those hips.
Yeah.
And let your backbone slip. Pull up your pants.
And do the muscle man dance. Whoa, hey. Gubba, yeah, Gubba. This girl, she's mine. And,
Not changing my lifestyle. I'm 4 or 5 women
every day of my life, damn, she fine. What up, jabroniacs? We are back in action for your satisfaction with all of our spicy, muy caliente wrestling reactions. And, wow, let me just introduce the Zoom Room, baby. The Zoom Room rioters, here they are. Let me take a sip of the cold brew. Getting nice and caffeined up. To my down, he's a nasty boy, Nasty Newman. What up, Nasty Newman?
Not much, man. Just broadcasting from the How About It Penitentiary.
Wow, you got locked up? That's why you got just a
Locked
plain
up.
wall in there. No one etched a dick
Yeah.
into that wall or anything?
No.
No, wow,
Not yet.
a clean penitentiary because it's been wiped out due to Corona. They're letting all the prisoners go except for Newman. How about a penitentiary is these people are just they're just too.
It's like Arkham.
Yeah, absolutely. It's Arkham. Is it the Dean Ambrose Asylum?
Yeah.
And to my side, but not a thorn. Erin Finnerty, the First Lady.
What up?
Oh, wow. Okay, anyway, guys, before we get into all the spiciness that was Money in the Bank pay-per-view and this week in pro wrestling action in and out of the ring, let me remind you that this podcast could not be more grassroots. This podcast is grassroots. As a matter of fact, we are so grassroots that we are studioless that I am now, for the people watching the video, I am now broadcasting in a brand new studio, a brand new location. I am broadcasting officially from the Silver Tiger studio. Luxurious. I called up the Tiger King. I spoke to Siegfried and Roy before he died.
Rest in
last week,
peace.
unfortunately. Rest in power. All the Tiger men, and they told me how to live in, how to broadcast in luxury. And here I am. Check it out. I'm beautifully draped with a background of the skin of a naturally deceased silver tiger.
Eigler?
Dolph Silver Tigler.
Tiger.
Yeah, you can support us to get more tigers. More tiger skins for the background to support this podcast. We are grassroots at patreon.com/comedians of wrestling. You could sign up for bonus episodes. We do a bonus episode every week dissecting to an unhealthy degree AEW and NXT. Also, our Cal Movie Club episodes come out every Monday, which have been a fucking blast during the quarantine. Aaron and I, sometimes Newman, watch movies with pro wrestlers in them, with exceptions. If they feel like they're in our wheelhouse, we will watch.
Mm-hmm.
All these movies are available on major streaming platforms, so you don't have to buy them or anything. And this week, we watched Kickboxer Vengeance. I almost called it Bloodsport Vengeance. Kickboxer Vengeance. We talked about that with Jean-Claude Van Damme meeting Batista. Or do they? I'm not sure they're in the same room at all during the filming of this movie.
Unknown.
Did you guys already do Jumanji Next Level? You did, right?
Yeah, like a while, like.
Yeah. So I finally just saw it.
Yeah.
It was like okay, but
it was
completely
okay.
off topic. Here's why it's just okay, and the mistake that they made.
Okay. We're getting to hear more bonus content here.
Yeah,
Head over to Patreon
bonus content.
The Cal Movie Club is now in session, apparently.
The by having The Rock and Kevin Hart portray different characters and like do the different voice and the blah blah, right? It was too different. It was huge mistake. They should have just done the same thing.
Yeah.
Introduced 2 new characters to have to voice those. I'm sure you guys said all this.
My argument for that was
so
that they saved it with the switch element where you could switch back. They saved it because you're like, okay, at least we still get to see that thing. And I said it's like a writing mistake I could see myself making. I could see myself being like, all right, well, maybe when we expand this universe, it's cool that they go into different characters. But then I think ultimately I would go back on that decision when you think about they found lightning in a bottle with those with that Rock with the Rock Kevin Hart dynamic of those 2 status swaps in Jumanji.
Oh, and
so fucking funny.
Jack Black.
Oh, well, the Jack Black as the girl is the funniest part.
Yeah, he did his best. He was trying to play a black guy.
But here's the thing is, they did it in reverse. They should have kept the same voices and then have the switcheroo device just show us a glimpse of like The Rock talking like Danny DeVito.
I think they should have done that, but the opposite. They should have just made the switch way earlier in the movie instead of 2/3 of the way through the movie. Because it's like, it's funny for a few minutes, but then let's just go back to what we know.
Right. I like they opened up the world, but it just was so much less funny. Like, and it was like a kind of a bummer. Jack Black, I see him walking in my neighborhood sometimes, and somebody confirmed to me that he does live over here. So I was like, because you remember that one day he posted a video in Rio.
Yeah, I remember this.
And then I saw him walking around, but like we did the math that because he was in the same T-shirt, we did the math that it was possible for him to have landed and gotten back and been like, oh, I need to walk around.
I look for him. After that, I've been looking for him because you think he's someone you would notice, but I don't know. With a mask on, who knows?
Especially now, they got to be walking. Anyway, point is, Jack Black is the man. But Jumanji, we do an episode. You can check that out on the Patreon. We have a bunch of we have so much bonus content in there. If you want more cow for a couple bucks, you unlock so much gold content. And also, side note, before we get into talking about all things pro wrestling, I got a lot to say. I have a new podcast also broadcasting out of the Silver Tiger Studios, also Lapped in Luxury. The Dan Black Attack podcast is now live. It's my podcast where I don't discuss only pro wrestling. Obviously, it creeps in. It's part of my DNA at this point. Probably if you put my DNA under a microscope, you'd see a little, some turnbuckle in there. But
like all the what do you call it? The connections, like what are they called? Fuck, I can't remember my biology. But
synapses.
Yeah, all the connections
the proteins
on the helix, whatever it is, are turnbuckles. GATACAGA.
They always talk about proteins, and you're like, wait, you mean like chicken? Like anytime it's like, you know what I mean? Do you know that? Anytime they're like, and that's just like, you're actually allergic to the proteins. I'm like, listen, I'm not allergic to protein. Okay?
No way.
Absolutely never. But check out the Dan Black Attack podcast right now. My first guest on there is my wife, Jamie Lee. The podcast is basically, I yell about the world and things that annoy me. And also, it's kind of my quest to become a better man and person, and also to be bodybuilder jacked by 40. So basically, I'm just documenting all that stuff. You know my personality. You know what it is. But if you support the show, it helps a lot for free. Go over on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, rate, subscribe, give it 5 stars. It helps a bunch. Go over there. You guys are, you are our base. So
it's Dan. It's on Apple now.
Yes, up on Apple, up on Spotify, up on Stitcher. It's wherever you get your pods. Right. It is up. And boy, oh boy, does Apple make it annoying to do.
I listened to the first episode on Spotify, and yes. I really liked listening to Jamie, her interview.
Yes, I talked to Jamie. I think it's a unique insight into my life, especially we talk a lot about being quarantined together. Yeah. Erin, what was your favorite part about
my
favorite part?
Seriously, my favorite part was Jamie talking about being an only child in quarantine, because I'm an only child and my husband has siblings and grew up in a house where it's like whatever. And when she said the thing about how if she can wake you up in the middle of the night and you don't even care, but if you wake her up, it's infuriating.
Yeah.
I have had that exact experience, and it's the same here. Like, I need to be, I like being alone. It's fine. But like, it's the opposite with the old.
Oh, my family. It's like, it's like, my dad, we slept like dogs. Like dogs are always up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like we were. It's like my wife will just be like, I'll hear her. She's like, shit, I don't have cash to go get my coffee. Like I roll out of bed, find the cash and give it to her, and then just go right back to bed. Never think about it. Like I'm always on duty. That's how I brain is.
Right.
She messaged one day. She's like, I can't sleep. It was like 4 a.m. She's like, I can't sleep. You want to watch Leah Remini's Scientology show? Like, yeah, put it on, and I just get up.
That's what's up. Yeah. I'm in Jamie's shoes because I'm the opposite. Like if Mike wakes me up to talk in the middle of the night, I'm like. Yeah. What the fuck? Like, no, I'm sleeping. This is so rude.
That behavior is so privileged to me based on my upbringing. That's what white privilege is.
Yeah. Only child privilege is what it is.
Point is, check out the podcast right now. Rate and subscribe. Even if you don't plan to listen, you got an iPhone, grab your grandmother's iPhone, hit subscribe, rate, and all that stuff.
Do it on air.
So much wrestling to talk about. Oh, what's our movie next week? Cow Movie Club? Hotel Artemis.
Hotel Artemis, now available on Amazon Prime, starring Dave Bautista and Jodie Foster.
That I'm very excited to watch. Dave Bautista, Jodie Foster. Dave Bautista's worked with them all. Okay, he's worked for everyone from the Undertaker to.
Now he's an actual jobber to the stars.
Yeah, he is a jobber.
He's literally a jobber to the stars.
Oh, man. I was talking about Batista. Do you think he has any fans who are like, oh, I want to go see the new Dave Bautista movie?
Yeah.
Besides wrestling fans?
I think he's pretty popular with a certain type of woman.
Newman, you always add a beautiful specific. I knew you weren't going to just say a certain type of person, or if you would, you would give a look of you meant neck beards or something.
No, what I mean is women who have pretty much all the same tattoos as he does, and are into motorcycles and stuff. That's what I think his demographic is.
Representation.
Sturgis chicks. That's who he's.
Did Batista ever get with Dana Brooke? Wasn't that going down?
I don't know.
I think that was Twitter kayfabe, right? I don't think
yeah.
All right. Well,
they were dangling an angle. That's what it was.
You gotta dangle an angle, people. Okay, let's get into wrestling because I have so much to say this week. Okay, let's start. This is my first time wearing this shirt. Actually, it still had the sticker on it. Congratulations to the man, Becky Lynch, on her pregnancy with a little Rollins Lynch hybrid baby.
Yay!
Wow. Anyway, let's talk it's so weird. I was just thinking about this the other day. I was thinking about those 4 women, the 4 horsewomen. I was like, the ones I care about, right?
Right. Well, 3 of the 4 then.
Yeah, and I was like, because right, there's the 2 groups, Ronda Rousey's groups, also the 4 horse. They also call themselves the 4 horsewomen,
Right.
But anyway,
I think other people call them the 4 horsewomen,
right,
more than they call themselves.
Right. The MMA group.
So I was just like, I was like, are these women gonna have kids? I really was thinking. I don't know why it popped in my head. I was like, I just was like, is that in the game plan for them? Like, I don't know why I was thinking about their parenting plan and
maybe you had that thought at like the moment of conception, like you were like, I knew it. As it was
their climax,
flying into the egg.
Right after a CrossFit workout, it's all pumping. You finished your Murph. Becky's already finished because she's actually technically faster than Seth at the Murph. While he might be stronger, when it comes to that kind of stamina, actually Becky is stronger. Becky's there. She's pumped up. She's got all the lactic acid going. Rollins runs into the gym. They have their own private CrossFit gym. Immediately, she rips off his shirt, and I'm here thinking.
Yeah,
I'm thinking he quickly finishes.
Psychic wavelength.
Start thinking about the pregnancy plan of a Charlotte, Bailey, Sasha, and Becky at the immediate time of conception.
Yep.
CrossFit conception.
I think Charlotte's next.
100%.
Yes.
That Andrade sperm is powerful.
Which kid's a better wrestler? The Becky Rollins kid or the Andrade Charlotte kid?
The Andrade Charlotte kid.
It has the Flair DNA.
Yeah, by a fucking wide margin.
Okay. But you got to admit, though, that the Becky Rollins kid can do more gimmicks. He can pull off more gimmicks.
And will probably be more attractive.
Okay. Wow.
I don't know, because Flair's genes, other than Charlotte, like, not all great.
That's I don't really have a snapshot of all the Flair kids. But
sadly,
there's probably an app. There's probably an app where we can like load their pictures in and take a look at what their kid might look like.
But anyway, congratulations to Becky Lynch. What a powerful segment. I mean,
I cried.
Erin texted me. I wasn't watching live. She was like, you're going to want to watch. And so I just turned it on immediately because I could tell this is something I'd want to see. Apparently there were rumors online saying that like Becky was going to say she's pregnant. I did not see any of that. She came out. Her delivery was like, I was like, I don't know what's happening here. And I thought, honestly, she was going to say she had cancer.
You're so, like, jaded from the Roman Reigns announcement thing. Like, that's where your head goes.
I assumed, I don't know why. I thought breast cancer. I don't know what that was. No. And I just was, because, I like to get ahead of it so it kind of, like, softens the blow. So I'm like, what is this? What's happening here? But it's not only that. Also, let's talk about it, because while it wasn't a work, there was a work element, obviously, to the whole thing, which was she was making it seem sadder. Like, that was actually why she's really talented. She wanted you to think that this was not necessarily good news. If you watch it, these wrestlers can never turn it off, and they have conversations backstage, and there was, hey, let's swerve people and make them think it's something sad, so when it's happy. So I do think I got crazy worked, and I was like, oh, man, this can't be, I'm just not used to getting any good news. And when it was good news, I mean, fuck, I was so shocked to hear something good in these times.
I know. That's why I like I had like a reaction of pure emotion. I was so happy that like I cried. Like it was just so nice to hear something good, something positive and her moment with Asuka was lovely too.
Yeah. This is maybe a conversation for the Dan Black Attack podcast, but is bringing a child into this world a good thing?
Well,
I mean,
discuss.
I don't know.
so are we saying that the Dan Black Attack podcast is where we get dark? It's where
Yeah.
we go.
What I'm saying is that I just watched True Detective season 1, so I'm coming on your podcast to talk about it.
You never seen it?
No, I just saw it for the first time.
Wow.
Wow, you had your own birth of sorts.
I did. Yeah.
Well, Newman, I am gonna need an episode of you. We're gonna talk about an app, but I would like some of the Newman conspiracy corner elements of the pod.
Yeah. I've grown out of
not conspiracies.
conspiracies.
That's why I meant to talk off, because that's just shorthand. I know it's not.
Got it.
It's Newman worldview. It's the NWO, if you will. I need
Okay.
Newman World Order, obviously. I think it is a good thing, though. I mean, it's not, I don't know. I don't like kids, but I think it's joyful when people have a baby together, especially if they're financially.
I can be happy for them.
Yeah, if they're financially in a place where they can afford it. It's not like a baby that's going to get tossed in a friggin' dumpster or something. But I think it's joyful news.
Yeah, I mean, I guess call me a little old-fashioned, but I still think hearing someone's having a kid is good news. It's that's me, Newman. You know what I mean? Call me old hat, if you will, or an old hat rack, which I believe is what.
You're an old hat rack.
Iconics called the guy. I don't know whoever was interviewing them all. They're like normally a coat rack or a head rack. God, they were so funny in their return. But anyway, I thought it was great news. But I thought the segment was more masterful. And actually, that's kind of what made me realize what is so good about Becky was really actually like it takes work. What she did was very subtle and it took work. And the way she goes like, you keep being a warrior and I'm going to go be a mother. That was a script. Like that was it was worded nicely. To get that out was very well thought out, and she really pulled it off. Becky is once in a I don't know, a lifetime talent, but she's just once in a fucking blue moon talent.
Generation.
You're right. Yeah, she has like what Edge has or whatever, you know, like some of those. She's got that natural charisma. She's great, and the timing for her is so good.
I know. I was like relieved too, because I was like, oh, this is perfect. Like, what a great send off. What a great way to present the title to Asuka. Like, it was a surprise. Like, it was so cool.
I think Asuka got work too.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Asuka, I couldn't figure that out. By the way,
that was legit.
I would say one like not a complaint, but they're trying to turn Asuka babyface like mega fast, because now she's gonna be the right, like she was a heel for a little bit, and they're like, all right. So they're making Asuka fun, but Asuka's behavior was so wild when she won. She's like, oh yeah, like it was just going insane.
Out. Yeah, it was cool. I liked it. I thought it was cute.
Yeah.
She probably didn't realize. That's the thing. She probably didn't realize that Becky was about to like drop this news. So like her reaction was like, "Oh, this segment is about me getting this." So she was going all out with like.
Oh, you think she didn't know that the?
No, look at her reaction. Look at her reaction when she's like, "Really? Like that's not Asuka's not a good actress."
Yeah.
Like she
killed it.
That was a legit reaction.
Killed it. That's such a good call. And also, if you remember when Roman announced that he had leukemia, the Shield didn't even know.
Right.
And that's also a weird thing with wrestling is there's so many things in wrestling that are like, if I was a wrestler, I think you have to start this at a younger age to be groomed for this kind of shit. Because if I was a wrestler, I'd be like, what? Like, I would immediately go like, guys, it's so manipulative to not tell me that until you go out on TV. Right? To like save it for the TV.
Right.
I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but this also happens in like the Last Ride documentary, which we'll talk about. I watched the first episode last night. It's really good. But like Taker says to Vince, like, "Are you happy?" He's literally like laid out, can't walk, and he's like, "Are you happy?" Like at that point in your life, are you answering to like the boss anymore? I mean, like, are you happy with the match? It's like, yo, the guy, you almost died. Do you need to hear that? And it's like, it's so weird to see like a 55-year-old man ask for that kind of approval. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, and like, I don't think I have that in me to like have like a master or whatever at that point.
Was that good enough? Like, it's a little emasculating for like kind of an old man to be asking. Like,
they all have it. They all the wrestlers have this like wanna please Vince thing. Like he manipulates them in such a way. He lords. Manipulating might make it too dark for what I'm saying. It's not that hot of a take. It's he runs his company in a way where that's how you got to play the game. He has
it's all about
power.
the game. It's all about the game.
You're scared. It's similar to like SNL, where it's like everyone's account of SNL, where it's like tomorrow you're out of good graces. There's gatekeepers. And it's what sucks about being an entertainer at all. There's always some fucking jabroni gatekeeper. And at least Vince as a gatekeeper talent he's better than a lot of them in that way because he doesn't ask you to do shit he wouldn't do. We've seen him take bumps. He's given his whole fucking life to this company. So you're kind of like, that's, Lorne Michaels in that way also. It's like, they do have some cred in that way. But I don't know if I'd ever get to a place where I'm getting like both my knees injected, being carted out, getting concussions, and you're like, Daddy, were you happy with my performance?
Is it good enough?
It's like, you're lucky to have Taker at this point, even though you gave him his career. The dynamic has shifted, This guy's putting, when we book our tickets to go to Mania, like a big deal. It's like, there's a Taker match. It helps the card tremendously. There's not that many people who have that. Mm-hmm. So anyway, I'm jumping ahead a little bit. And maybe I'm just a little power averse or whatever in that way. But but Becky, I thought she nailed that. The timing for Becky is so good. She will be back 100%, and she will be a mother, and it makes her even a bigger star.
100%. 100%.
I watched that documentary that I recommended on the Patreon episode. The Bethany Hall is her name?
Oh, the surfer, right?
What's her last name? Whatever. The one-armed surfer. And she has one arm, came back to surf. She then had a kid. And when she came back to surf after having a kid, it gives you even more heat, So it's the plight of the woman. Very tough, completely unfair in that way that Rollins gets to just keep wrestling and get a kid. It sucks. But also, when you're for wrestling, the heat of coming back after a kid, right? And now you're a mother, that built in. Being a father is not cool. Being like Reigns is like, I'm a dad, and you're like, shut the fuck up about your kids. Like, it's not, we don't want that, you know. But when you're a mother, there is a great inherent gimmick there. Maybe that's
because anybody can be a dad. Anybody can be a dad.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you can be a dad and just like literally walk away. Like
some people are dads and don't know it.
Newman, you have something to tell us?
You can't be a mom. No.
Yeah.
No. You can't be a mom and not know it. I mean, I guess you can in some weird circumstance.
I didn't know I was pregnant type scenario.
Yeah. But eventually you find out is my point.
Right. Yeah.
But she's going to come back and be, I mean, also, there is no one for her to lose that title to.
Right. That's why it worked out great. Because it's like, well, if she wanted to take time off to like be pregnant, then like right after Money in the Bank with the briefcase reveal, like it was just great timing, and to drop it to Asuka, give it to Asuka in that way was.
And here's another hot take. I think Becky will be back, but I think Becky's stardom's gonna go up. There's already talk about Becky being in Marvel movies.
I read that today. Like she wants to evidently explore TV and movies more. So this like Billions episode was just like dipping a toe.
Yeah,
I mean,
she
who knows?
she was an actress for a point.
Yeah,
So
she's actually has her degree in theater, so she's got experience on the stage at least.
I think she has a good shot of crossing over successfully, Batista style, and I do, and that's what I always kind of say to everybody. Like when a talent is like really working at that high of a level. We don't really need to, like when Cena post WrestleMania 31, Cena is always my example. You're like this is just working. Like let's all like just you know what I mean. Like Becky, like we don't really need to like maybe you're not feeling the man anymore because she's plateaued a little, but like just take a step aside. She was an awesome champion. You know, she exceeded my expectations by 5,000 miles. If there's ever a wrestler on this pod that I've completely 180'd on to the point where I look like a complete asshole, but it's not an asshole. What I look like is a mark, which I'm aspiring to be. I'm looking to watch wrestling, get worked, have fun. I want to not know that somebody knew something. I want to use it, put it up to my own imagination. Yeah. And so Becky really exceeded my expectations. Congratulations to her. She seemed so happy to do it.
Yeah,
she
really
seemed
happy.
really sad in the beginning of that promo, and then really happy.
And she had such a beautiful exchange with Asuka, like at the end, which I thought was great.
Do you buy a shirt that says "The Mom"?
Is that being sold? I saw that, or did somebody?
I think someone.
I just thought of it now.
That
I didn't know that it was a thing. Yeah.
I think it should say the dad.
Obvious.
It should say the dad. I think
that'd be funny.
Way better.
The dad is fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
If your shirt was that I'm your
Becky
dad.
Lynch, the dad.
Who's your daddy? It's gonna be Who's Your Daddy.
Oh my God. Well, Who's Your Daddy does not accomplish what we want. But yeah, congratulations.
It accomplishes what WWE wants, though.
Well, what Vince wants, 100%. Yeah. So anyway, congratulations to Becky. Awesome. What a run. One of the best women's title run in women's WWE wrestling history. No, not even close.
Yeah.
The only person I could argue is like a Rousey, because that was so exciting. But it's not, though. She's not as good of a wrestler. But Becky Lynch would not exist without Ronda Rousey at the level she was at. Ronda Rousey was tremendous. Generous, donating her generous time to us. By the way, I saw a couple memes about saying like, "Oh, Becky got pregnant first, and that made her heel." That shit's not funny, and
cool.
Messing around with anyone's fertility issues, I think is so fucked up.
Yeah, that's not cool. Not cool, you guys.
It's not in our group. I didn't see it, but I saw it in other group stuff.
Yeah, I saw some jokes on Twitter that weren't very nice.
Yeah, it's just not. Anyway, all right, let's move on. So, well, let's stay on the same topic for a second, but talk about Shayna Baszler. So, Shayna Baszler, I think, had her best moments on Raw. I know, Aaron, you have a problem with it, but Shayna Baszler found an angle, which is being kind of anti-parents, kids.
Anti-kids. I don't like kids. I don't want kids, but I am pro other people's kids.
Right, but she's completely shitting on the fact of being a mother, just being like
parasite.
Yeah, kids are parasites. She hates kids and like thinks it's not an accomplishment. Everybody has fucking kids, and you know what? That is a great angle for her, right? Because she's clearly not gonna have kids. She lives more of an alternative lifestyle, you know. So I think it's fun. I mean, that's offensive. Right?
Do you want to rethink that phrase?
Yeah, I meant it that she was a cage fighter, and then I saw where that went. Can we scratch that from the record? I mean, I just mean like, you know, she's not. I mean, alternative in the sense of not having kids, but
non-traditional.
Non-traditional, whatever. Fuck it. We're all learning here, right? You know what I mean, though, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do I gotta edit that out?
No.
That's not that offensive. All right. Anyway, but Shayna, you know, she's not having kids, so that's a great authentic thing for her to be fucking think is stupid. She's like, I hate Becky, and now she's having a kid. I'm not gonna be happy for her. I'm not happy for anybody who has kids, and now I don't get to get my revenge on her. It blows. I think it was good.
It blows.
I don't think she nailed saying all that. Like, there's always something with her where I wish it sounded meaner and better.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought it was a good angle for her. You didn't dig it, Aaron?
I didn't see it. I fast forwarded through it.
Oh, I thought you said making. Oh, you meant fans.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. It was definitely her best thing.
I did see the quote though about it being like a parasite in her. Like,
yeah.
And I thought that was pretty clever.
Anyway, let's move on to the main attraction here. Somehow Becky, give her credit, got top billing on the pod over the Money in the Bank match. Maybe arguably the craziest match in history. What did you? I'll leave it to you guys because I've been talking a lot. What do you guys think about this Money in the Bank match?
The Money in the Bank match
Just
itself.
the match.
The match. I didn't like it. It was fine. I liked the outcome. Ultimately, it's fine. But I think we were live on Twitch and talked about it. The execution was a little sus, and I really hated the food fight. I thought the gym fighting was kind of cool. Like some of the stuff looked a little sketchy, but breaking the mirror. Just fighting in a gym is funny to me. So, but overall, I thought it was kind of weak, and but the outcome ultimately, I'm fine with, especially after yesterday.
Right. Well, Asuka became the champion, so that made total sense because she feels like, she's championship material. As a matter of fact, she is I think the second Grand Slam women's winner. I think Charlotte's got to be the first, right?
Has she? Is she a Grand Slam?
It's got to be Charlotte. I didn't even look at the second. I saw that as a meme, and I didn't look it up. But it has to be Charlotte. Who else would it be?
Right,
Unless it's like China?
No,
China.
There's no way she would have all of them.
Wow. Trump's even just ruined the word China. I mean,
the name.
God, did you see that clip?
Yes.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. He was having a meltdown. That was his one of his lowest moments. He literally walked off. Did you see what happened? Is that CNN reporter that he hates? I forgot her name.
The female, the woman.
Yeah. She's cool. Well, she just seems professional or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know who's cool or whatever. He called on her because she was wearing a mask and he didn't realize.
Yeah.
He moved her to the back. You see, she's all the way in the back. Like they moved her. Which is not, by the way, it's precedent, but George Bush used to move people around all the time. There's a precedent for that. But he moved her to the back, called on her by accident, and then it's like, no. And then he pretended it was because he was like, I didn't answer your question because you hesitated to ask it. And then she argued with him, and then he walked off. He goes, you know what? You know what? Thank you very much. And he left. So during a time of crisis, this guy's getting frustrated, walking off. All right, whatever.
Yeah.
All right. We lost no listeners at this point, right?
No.
No one's turned off this
gaining
pod for Trump hate. They're too busy protesting with the AKs. Anyway, save it for Dan Black and Hackpot.
While I was watching this match, this Money in the Bank match, I kept thinking, like, it started, I was like, oh, this is kind of neat, like a neat usage of whatever. But then it was like, this is $1 billion company producing this. And it looks like trash.
That I'm going to tell you guys
so
something. That thing looked worse and edited shittier than stuff I've done at UCB with no money. Newman got worked up.
Whoa. Serious.
And they stole our spot. They stole the throwing of the people off the building from us.
Oh yeah, 100% stole it.
I mean, you mean it was stolen video we've captured.
They saw it,
thrown
were
off
inspired by those acts of violence, and then executed them on TV.
I actually thought that was, frankly, disrespectful to your injuries.
Yeah,
100%.
Well, obviously they don't give a shit about people's health.
Yeah.
Mockery of Newman's A5 vertebra.
How's that fusion going? How's that?
It's fine. It's my L10. It's my lumbar.
That's even worse.
Yeah.
It's a mockery. It's unfair.
Lombard. I just think of Lumberg from Office Space. Well, I'm having one of those kind of days. You know what I mean?
I used to. That was like one of those. I used to an ex-girlfriend of mine used to get mad because we would be driving and then I would see somebody on the side of the road and then voice them out loud just to make myself laugh. Like I'm on the side of the road or whatever.
Yeah.
But to my girlfriend at the time, I'm just saying things. Like she was never privy to the math that made me start saying things. So for you were just like lumbar.
Yeah, well,
it's totally connected in your head.
The line is he's like Lumberg fucked her, which you could argue is misogynistic. But I don't know why I think I'm just being sensitive because of my Shayna Baszler slip up earlier, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I'm a white broy man of the '90s. It's gonna happen. Anyway, listen. Money in the Bank match. This Money in the Bank match was such hot trash. It was so bad. I thought it was horrible. I thought it was absolutely horrible. And that's coming from me. I like the House of Horror match, right? I love the high concept stuff. I love the idea of climbing the corporate ladder, and it's in the facility. I love that, and maybe I could give them a pass if we heard something where it's like filming this was very difficult, blah blah blah, because we had less staff, this and that. No, this thing was written for 2-year-olds. It was written like filler comedy raw material, like filler segment.
It was like the 4th of July backstage segment. Like,
yeah, it was not at all the fun you could have with a match in the headquarters. All the wrestlers looked worse doing it, except the comedy guys like Otis, who fits right in. He should win this match because this match is for the goof characters. I mean, not to mention the ending, which we'll get into. But yeah, like you couldn't track it. It was like, what floor are they on? It was just a series of very shitty thought out vignettes that are worse than stuff I've made with no script. I would put up luckily the captured match that we were able to edit of me versus Iffy in my house. I would say that is a way better example of something that you could do, and they have literally 5 million times the resources that I have. Yeah. I thought you couldn't track like where anyone was. Every character, like they tried to make it like kind of like, I guess like Clue, whether you like split up and you're in this hallway and that, but then like none of it was funny, clever, or like just like it was for 2-year-olds.
Yeah.
It was so unsatisfying because, like, even like AJ in the Taker room that he stumbled into, like, that had no satisfying payoff at all.
Like,
and then there were so many. I don't know, like, why is that there? And
like,
then
Taker's not in there.
And why is Stephanie there? Like, no, this is the Money in the Bank conference room. We have this briefcase of cash. You didn't find, like, why would Dana Brooke think that that's it? Like, you know that you're not looking for cash.
Whole thing was such a piece of shit. It didn't make any
sense.
It was one of the worst things that WWE's ever made. It was such a piece. I just have to say that. Like, it was a piece. It was trash in the bank. Like, why? Like, that conference room spot. Like, what the? That was incoherent. This is the Money in the Bank conference room. And, like, it's like, this is what writing, like, why they're writing. There's no. This is why AEW is running circles around WWE right now. I'm sorry for the one listener that's upset that I like AEW. I will criticize them as well. But, like, they just, like, make things up out of nowhere. Like, there's no rules to the whole thing. The ending was a rule that made no sense. And not in that, like, a conference. So there's another briefcase hanging. That's the Money in the Bank conference room. So that means that there's actual money hung up. And Dana Brooke's character is so stupid that she doesn't know what the briefcase actually looks like. And before the match happened, she didn't know it was on the roof. We all knew that this briefcase was on the top of the fucking roof. But Dana Brooke, who's in the match, didn't do any research to know where it would be. And she thought, there's another briefcase, looks completely different, that you can see through and has money, not a contract in it. And then Stephanie, from nowhere, you just suspend your disbelief. They go, sorry, you know it's the quarantine, guys. So us, this billion-dollar corporation that's still making money, is going to shoddily put Stephanie on no screen. We're not going to superimpose her. In my videos, some stuff, we're able to, you know, you saw Eric Scott was on the phone with me. We're able to capture that, enhance that, right? It's Stephanie just off screen. Is she supposed to be in the same room? She looked like it would be like if right now me and Newman, looking at the Zoom video, pretended to be in the same room.
Yeah.
And like, so the you're inferring that while Dana Brooke is next to a conference table, Stephanie is against a white wall that doesn't exist in the room. And there's right. What was that? Then every spot was just stupid. Like, we're supposed to believe that Paul Heyman's just eating a fucking sandwich.
Oh,
like,
my God. I know. Like, at a huge buffet.
He was doing literally a, like, vaudeville, like, ooh, let me get this. No, this. And then he paid, like, a big fucking turkey, like, it was, like, the most, like, silent
And why
movie,
is he why is he there in this empty office building with a huge picnic table spread? And also, they walked into Vince's office. Like,
Yeah.
wouldn't you know that where you're going isn't up? Like, you are clearly entering an office. And
they were at the Performance Center, right?
They were in Connecticut.
No, they were in Connecticut.
It was Titan Tower?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Which
the
is
whole thing was.
actually evidently only like 4 stories high. So
yeah, what the fuck? I thought it was like
yeah, but
it's
like
7
you
stories.
want to see if you make this and you have all this stuff going on simultaneously, don't you want to know like AJ's on floor 2, right? And it's like, all right, now AJ's up on floor 3 right now. Like that. And it's like, and he's fighting with Daniel Bryan there. Then if they fight and then they stumble into Vince's office, right? So then it's just like, oh, I'm sorry. Fine. But they look, it's like AJ got caught underway. All these guys, these are like actual workers. They just look dumb. Like
silly.
They just all look dumb. They like literally like their intro was them just walking in. They all looked like such morons.
Walking into the gym or the lobby, like ready to start now. And yeah, it wasn't cool
so it's
at
like,
all.
when you want it to be like, here are the rules of this match, you got to first off, there's referee there, and then it's like, you start in this corner, you fight. The only way to get up is to go through here, right?
Right.
Like something like that. Like just set it up like the fucking Crag, right? We need like Mo and right, like when they establish what the aggro Crag is in Guts,
Right.
They're like, you go through here, you do that. Like this is a new match. Establish it for us. Instead, they made it like so unfunny. It was just unfunny.
It wasn't even a challenge. They should have made it like the Rock movie Skyscraper, where it's like he's trying to get to the top. Like, was way more exciting and fun to watch, because it's like he's actively scaling this thing. There it's like, we get to a new level, we have a food fight. When we get to a new level, we're stumbling into this office. Like, there was no kind of stakes or anything exciting about it at all. And then just, at the end of the match, they're all on the roof.
Silly. It's like silly. It's too silly to be the Money in the Bank match. It's a match that we care a lot about. It has very high stakes. If you want to have a silly spot here and there, it's fine. But it's like, then, like, remember Doink popped up, but like that was not Doink at all.
No, it was like a young man.
Sloppy. The face paint wasn't even Doink. Yeah. So think about how great the Firefly Funhouse was, right? They were, here's the all the stuff we've established. The lore of.
Hey, my camera went out.
Newman's feed just cut out. Yeah, I can't see.
Can you hear me though?
I can hear you.
Something's going on with my.
Yeah, your feed. The video's gone.
Newman, what happened to Newman? He's got Newman.
We lost him. Oh no! Not again.
Oh my God!
Newman's feed always gets hacked.
Wow, Seth Rollins is here.
Whoa.
Oh my God, the Monday Night Messiah is here. I'm sorry I don't have your new
Tuesday.
music. I only have your old music here. I apologize.
It's all right.
Wow.
I'm a dad.
Yeah, congratulations that you're going to be a father. This is unbelievable.
Oh, dude, look, I cannot wait until this kid grows up and I can stab it in the back and betray it.
Wow.
Because that's what I do.
Wait. No. Seth, I don't like what I'm hearing here. I don't like what I'm hearing. So look, you're saying that your plan, you're right now the architect of your kid's demise already? Your unborn fetus, you're already planning to turn your back on this kid?
I'm not going to kill him. I'm just going to betray him.
Meaning what? Like, how do you see this? You're gonna, explain this. Explain the plan here. We won't tell anyone. We won't tell him or her.
The kid's going to be like, Dad, can I have some juice?
Right.
And I'm going to say, ask your mom, Becky Lynch.
Right.
And when it turns around, I'm going to hit it in the back with a chair. We've seen this before.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's going to be a Roman Reigns style betrayal.
Right.
Well, I don't think you should do that. Listen, I think you should sit. No, I don't think. Listen, Seth, you don't need to turn your back on everybody in your life. You don't need to be the architect of your own success, especially in your personal life. Save that more for in ring. No.
Well, look, I'm adapting my in ring strategy to being a dad. So when my kid is being is misbehaving, I'm gonna burn it down.
You're gonna burn your kid down?
I'm not gonna be a good dad. I don't know how else to get that across.
Yeah. So Seth, look, I'm calling bullshit on this. Okay, let me tell you. When you hold your kid, like, listen, your kid's first birthday party, you're gonna be so excited. You can't believe you have a kid and they're 1 year old. You think about mortality and how your age and they've their whole lives ahead of them. Like, picture yourself. How would it go? Your first birthday party for your kid.
First birthday party, it's going to be Macho Man themed.
That's awesome.
Because it's my favorite wrestler.
For a 1 year old? Great.
Right.
Yeah. And then when all his friends show up,
yeah,
it's going to be revealed that they're like druids or something, and then we're all going to jump the kid.
Oh,
it's going to be great.
Wow.
No.
And all my disciples, Buddy Murphy's going to be there, and he's going to give a fish hook suplex to my little baby girl.
No. I don't like that. No, Seth. Oh my God, your laugh is making you sound like a 90-year-old man. Yeah. Seth, no, you don't need to listen. Seth, you listen. I know you're scarred because your babyface run was not perceived that well. That's what it was? Is that when you were trying to be good and you were trying to be the Beast Slayer, we kind of didn't rally behind you enough. So now you think you gotta be mean. I'm telling you, you don't have to.
I'm the baby slayer.
No.
I have to get that shirt.
Oh my God, do you have that shirt? Is that merch already made?
It's merch already. Look, I want everyone to just think about for 1 second.
Yeah.
The fact that my penis, has done more financial damage to WWE than AEW has ever done.
But that's true.
Wow.
That's actually true. That's actually true. As a matter of fact, a lot of people are saying that Seth Rollins, he ended Becky's title run. Like, he was the ultimate betrayal there.
Wow. Real architect shit.
That's a swampy take. Seth, listen, can I try to reason with you one more time? Okay?
You can try.
All right, let's go. Flash forward. Do you remember when you graduated college? Wait, never mind. That probably didn't happen. No. Okay. No, I'm sorry. No offense to that.
Aim a little lower.
And by the way, college in this pandemic, probably over, right? We don't need that anymore.
No. I think a lot of kids can just do it online now.
Yeah, it's a huge waste of money. We're going to have all of our parents just pay for us to party again. All right, listen, Seth, let's talk to you. High school graduation, right? High school was probably hard for you, no?
It was actually pretty easy. I was a jock the whole time.
Oh, so. Yeah, okay. Right. Well, it's okay, jock. So imagine your kid's probably going to be pretty athletic. That's for certain. Your kid's at their first rager, partying with everybody, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So don't you think that's going to be an awesome experience for your kid? How do you feel about that? Your kid's first party. What do you know?
If my kid is at any parties,
yeah,
it's going to have to be a straight edge party.
Oh.
Unless we're talking about certain performance enhancing supplements. You see, I'm going to raise this kid to be a professional wrestler so that I can beat it at WrestleMania 50.
So that's the reason you had a kid, so that you could wrestle your kid?
That's right.
Have we ever seen that, by the way? Sense. I mean, besides Vince and Shane, have we ever seen that, a wrestler wrestling their kid?
We've seen Charlotte slap her dad.
And his dad. Yeah, Charlotte, his dad. Anyway, Seth, I got to tell you, I mean, I'm nervous about this. I'm going to have to – I've met your fiance before, and I have some connections there. I'm going to have to tell her about what you've told me here.
Go ahead.
Yeah? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Good for you.
And by the way, how's it going at the coffee shop? You've had to furlough any employees or?
Yeah, I furloughed all my employees, and then I called the unemployment office to tell them that they were not showing up for eligible work and got all their benefits canceled.
Wow, this is the ultimate heel alert. Okay, all right. What is your kid? The last thing, Seth, before you go, what is the name of your unborn child? That's a big scoop we could get here.
Exclusive.
Mark Henry.
Okay.
Mark Henry.
All right, Seth, you got to go.
Female?
You have to go, okay? Just get us Newman back. Give us Newman back. Oh my God!
Seth just broke the connection altogether, you guys.
He just lost us Newman. I mean, I'm trying to connect back with Newman, and I'm getting kind of a laughy Seth Rollins face. It just comes up, like in Jurassic Park where Newman is like, yeah, I'm getting that. Wow. Well, it looks like Newman.
I hope Newman's
gone.
Okay. I hope he didn't burn anything down over in Newman's place, or.
I hope not. Anyway, well, let's
All right,
move
well, I
on
guess
for
it's
a
just
second.
us. It's fine. That's fine.
But just being Seth, that was a huge scoop. But Seth Rollins popped by. Here, look. Last thing I'm going to say about this Money in the Bank match. If you enjoyed it, I understand. Like before we get heated about this, I had a friend text me, thought it was a blast. I understand. If you're like, hey, it was a fun time. It was a fun time. It's for me when you have all these guys there and you have this high concept idea. For me, I think there's way more acrobatic, more things in line with actually what we like about pro wrestling that they could have done. They chose to go the silly way. But the one thing I can't excuse about it is the ending of the men's Money in the Bank match.
Yeah.
So
we talked about this a lot on the Twitch stream.
Right.
Because we were mystified by what transpired. Now, I'll say that I'm fine with Otis being Mr. Money in the Bank because, well, why not? But
yeah, and also Otis, I said on here, Otis is a comedy talent, and I'm all about pushing the comedy talents, especially guys who are so over, and Otis can go. I don't even know if we necessarily need like his worm elbow to be like his finish. That could be just.
It definitely doesn't need to be his finish because it's not very effective looking. Right. But I think we talked about it on the 9 to 5. You posed the question, do you see Otis as a champion ever? And I think we got mixed responses from the room. Yeah. But I think that right now, like, anything is possible. And, I don't think that's a bad thing. Like, why not play with it a little bit?
He's a really unique talent, actually. I said that there was a good chance. By the way, I said there's a good chance of Otis winning either on the stream before it started.
The top of the show.
Or the top of, I said that because Vince loves him. I also think he's undeniably over. And there's 100%. A lot of power in that, right? And now
a lot of thanks to Dolph Ziggler, by the way.
Yeah, definitely thanks to Dolph. When you want to see the beauty of Dolph Ziggler, just look at that alone. I mean, there's countless wrestlers who he's gotten to the next level. And he seems to love doing it. The way he talked about Drew on the podcast, he said on the podcast, he was like, I'm just a bum that I had nothing to do with him coming up, but it's not even true. The Drew Ziggler tag team was awesome, and then Drew looked fucking amazing when he beat the shit out of Ziggler in that cage match.
Right.
Yeah, so that's all part of it. But yeah, like Otis, they have a year to build up Otis.
Right.
So actually, technically more than a year, right? Because the Carmella cashed in the Monday night after WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. So you have I'm saying I was thinking in terms of wrestling years. Yeah,
right.
Money in the Bank. So now, like they told you, they have good. The cool thing about Money in the Bank is they tell you we see the potential in this guy, and that unlocks you thinking there's potential. So I had no problem with that. But Otis grabbing the briefcase, like, so
this was the weird part.
Right? Was it AJ and Corbin?
It was AJ and Corbin at the top of the ladder, and I believe AJ was the one who unhooked it, had it, and then never held the handle. He kind of bobbled it,
right,
and then that's when it fell to Otis.
Right. So here's an example of what WWE is what they do that's such trash. Okay, it's the same thing as ending the Hell in a Cell match with Fiend and Rollins, where you're like, what? This match is supposed to be literally hell, but you could do something that will end it.
Right.
Like, and what he did is not even as brutal as Taker throwing Mick Foley off the top and then again through. Right? So the precedent is completely fucked. Now, I know WWE is a company going for a very long time, so they're going to have to break precedent and make new rules as they go. Totally, and they should. There should be times where you go like, all right, but we've watched Money in the Banks. The second you unhook it, you win.
That's it.
That's always how it goes.
Unclasp it, and then you have it. And if someone was at the top of the ladder with you, like, big whoop, like, you're the one who unhooked it. Right. And if you dropped it or you threw it, like, it shouldn't really make a difference.
Right. And wrestling needs rules because it's also fake. So playing within those rules matter a lot. Anyway, scripted, whatever you want. I don't care. I have no problem calling wrestling fake. I think that's a good word. I don't like real. I haven't watched this Michael Jordan doc, and I'm dragging my feet to do it. Dragging my feet to do it. I know it's good. But they are assuming, right, that we know, okay, that if you take the Money in the Bank briefcase off of the hook and you don't have full control of it, like in football, if you're bobbling the ball, you don't have possession.
Yeah, bobbling. Right.
Like in football, you don't. Then you don't. It's like, oh, he never had possession. They're assuming we know that, and then they bobbled it, and then Otis caught it. But that's not what happened. What happened is that two guys unhooked it at the same time. So it's like, oh, well, the two guys won. Well, like, let's deal with that. But instead, they acted like if two of you, think about the layers of this. If two guys unhook it, that means no one has control of it. And then it's bobbled, and then whoever has full control of it, that's the winner. It doesn't make any sense. And it doesn't make any sense.
I thought it was clear that AJ was the one who did the unhooking.
Right.
Because it was on his side, and he bobbled it immediately, like unhooked it, bobbled it.
He was holding the actual hook.
Yeah.
So, like, you can't unhook without holding the carabiner, right?
Right.
Like, if you're not touching that, you didn't do it. It's whoever is pressing the little metal part and that unhooks and then pulling it off, that's who won. Even if somebody else is touching the case.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's not that unhooked it.
Right. That makes no sense. I can't remember a time in Money in the Bank history where someone has unhooked it with somebody who didn't fall off the ladder. Right. Or something. Or, like, normally it's one guy up there. And so I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I was like, that's cool. Someone hooked, like, someone almost won also. That's cool. And it was more about top of our intelligence. Like, you would try to just get it, like, like, beating the guy up might not be, if you think you have a shot at unhooking it, that's all you need to do.
Right.
So you don't necessarily need to make it as easy for yourself as possible. You're like, if you think you're agile enough to just, while you're getting punched, unhook it, then I like that idea. But that ending sucked. But I like that Otis won. Right. It's fun. I don't love that the next day they were like, the guys who fell off hit a roof 6 feet below. It's another thing. It's like, show us that. You're WWE. Show us a shot of that.
I mean, we showed Newman getting crushed twice.
Like, so to make the whole thing so silly and then downplay that drama of the fact that these guys got thrown off and then miraculously, it's like miraculously that happened. But like, they're in tag team action tonight. Now, I can give that a pass because it's the quarantine and they have limited talent.
Right.
But it just fit the whole thing where it was like Daniel Bryan and AJ, two of the top badass wrestling talents in all of wrestling history, cower in the face of just seeing Vince McMahon, who we know top of our intelligence, we know they work with this guy every day, and they see him and they're like, oh, sorry, and all of a sudden they become fucking Abbott and Costello,
straightening the chairs and like giggling as they back out of the room.
Now, positive thing I'll say, this is my last positive thing I'll say about this match. Last thing I'll say about the match. Some really cool shots of like AJ, like a really they clearly had like on another tower they set up like really wide, not bird's eye view because they're not perfectly overhead, but like high angle wide shots. You saw a phenomenal forearm from like 600 yards away on the top of a building. That was fucking awesome. But they didn't edit it where that was on display. You know, there's a thing in improv where like you in scenes where like they say like once once you go to Crazy Town, you can't like come back. So it's like once your scene is like not grounded, it's hard to make you care about it in that way. So like something like the Boneyard match and like Firefly Funhouse, those things kind of stayed in a place where you're like, oh, I know what this is. Whereas like this thing was like fucking with genres. It's like, oh, it's silly, and then now it's not. And so it just kind of like your mind was in the silly zone. You're checked out. So you weren't even noticing like how awesome that phenomenal forearm was, you know?
Right. And then they like obscured the roof using like 1,000 trees. Like
apparently those are up there normally.
They're already there.
I was told.
I thought that, I mean, strategic, because there was just like debris, like construction, detritus, like up there, like whatever. I thought the trees were obscuring some of the kind of shit that lives on the roof.
They might be doing that permanently. Also, the trees might be like, people, I don't know, people who work at Titan Towers might eat lunch up there or something. I have no idea. Anyway, so whatever, check it out. I mean, the pay-per-view overall was very short, which was good, but it was one of the more underwhelming, maybe the most underwhelming pay-per-view for me in a really long time. Most people I know were like, thought it was terrible. That seems to be how I thought. I'm curious if you guys dug it. Post in the Facebook group. I'm interested to hear. Some of you did. Tell me what you liked about it. Or if you just were looking to have a fun, easygoing time, then that's good. It's just like funny. You know, I just was looking for something different. Okay. You know, in playing on that, it's also like they did this basketball segment on Raw. That was like
I saw the I saw it was like coming up next, and then I was like, I don't want to watch this.
They take the Street Profits versus the Viking Raiders, and you think about like the War Raiders when they were in NXT and how like badass they were. Right? They literally chanted war, had the war, like horns. Yeah. This is a segment of these guys, like literally like 90s style, like it's like you're trying to like hustle playing basketball one-on-one against like a caveman. Like this would be in the movie like Encino Man. Right, where, like literally like a scene right out of that where it's like he doesn't know how to play basketball, but somehow he has some cash. Why don't you challenge him to a game he doesn't know? But then like all of a sudden he's amazing at it. That's the angle they did. But it's like the Viking Raiders doing like literally. Here's a joke. It's like they check him the ball and he goes check, and then the Viking Raiders are like, yeah, it's full of air. Like it's like, oh, he thought you meant check the ball for air as opposed to like. You know, you check.
Come on. To, like, it's so say, like slapdash thrown together. Like what is that?
It's just terrible. It's like just show us a match. Like it's fine. We get it. The quarantine's weird, but like just show us a match or do something that's like has like the wrestlers has like a spirit of the wrestlers, like the Bubbly Bunch thing, where it's like, look, it's not like the best thing in the world, right? But clearly they're all having a good, fun time with each other, as opposed to just like it's I don't know, shit's for kids. Really. I mean, this episode of Raw I had like a decently fun time with, but like they're just doing some things that are so weird. Like Shayna Baszler, like destroyed Natalya. She looked good in there. That was fun. And I like they're playing up. They did, you know, it was like everyone. Becky has her big like baby announcement. That felt like real. Everyone was happy, but like Shayna's not happy for her, and everyone's so disgusted with Shayna's behavior. It was one of her best moments, if not her best moment on Raw. Mm-hmm. Okay. One last thing, Seth Rollins. I completely called. If there's a mole, I completely called what they would do here, which is that Seth will lose and then lose his mind.
Right. And I recall this. Yeah.
Right. I was like, he's going to go even deeper into his Messiah Dome. And that's exactly what we saw. They had his hair all messed up.
It was like kind of dry. And he was like clearly not flexing his abs. Like he was like
didn't
sticking his
oil
head
up
out a little bit. He was dry. That was really funny.
It's great. Seth's going even deeper into the hole. He's like shocked. He's like, I cannot believe I lost.
And then he snapped. He snapped on Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, he beat the eye. And then he went to apologize. Like, I didn't know. I don't even know how that happened. The Seth stuff they're doing right now is really interesting. I don't love this song.
I'm not a fan.
Yeah, he needed a new song for this gimmick.
But they should roll it into the da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yes. Right, I agree. Like, it should be...
Because that's classic.
Play like a big intro and then have it go, like...
Have a choir.
The Messiah, then... Like,
yeah.
Because I don't want to lose full Seth into this.
Right.
But again, if they had the right song, it would work. This feels like they will change it. It doesn't feel totally there. It's like it's a little first drafty.
Right.
But I called it. If there's a bowl, I told you he will lose clean, and it will drive him crazy. Listen, last week I knew exactly what to do there. All right, last thing I want to talk about. I briefly mentioned it, but this Last Ride Undertaker documentary.
Oh yeah, I haven't watched
very
it.
worth your time. Really good. They have all this great footage of Taker. You kind of see the man behind the character, and it's fine. People, if you're worried about too much behind the scenes of Taker and the character, at this point, we're already there. We don't have it for that much longer. It's fine. It's good to do. I do think. I do feel the guy's a little tortured, you know. You could see he's like really beating himself up over his match with Reigns.
Oh yeah. Well, they showed so much footage of it during Raw that I feel like I saw it. He's tortured, and I think it's like his body is so like decrepit now that to be who he is and have to like reconcile with that and kind of where you are in your career now is probably like torture.
Yeah, it's definitely like a little sad to watch because they're all kind of doing a little bit of a dance of you know, I was actually fourth row during that match, Reigns Taker.
Very
the chair,
close seats.
chair I'm sitting on right now is the chair that I was in. But let's see for the video. Okay, you got a little glimpse of it. It's too hard to do.
Cool.
But yeah, I brought it over to the Silver Tiger Studios.
Tiger Studios, not a lot of square footage, but
it's not.
It is luxurious.
Yeah. And I actually saw a rumor about Silver Tiger Studios, which was some people were saying it's still my bedroom.
There's just unfounded.
No. This is a completely.
Who's to say? We're not there.
Patreon funded new location. Thank you.
Yeah.
But this kind of luxury. Look at this.
I mean, it's not a lot of square footage, but the kind of opulence that you have there is
gorgeous.
Well worth it.
1 to none, none to 1, whatever. Anyway, check it out. It's exactly what you think it is, but it's really good. It is, you know, I do think this guy, the more I watch it, I think the more we're gonna see. I think the next episode's when they start getting into the surgeries that got him back to where he's at, you know, and he wasn't there. But he's not going to stop until he gets a match where he feels like I can walk out, and I'm not sure he's capable. I mean, WrestleMania 25, him versus Shawn, like those matches, he's not going to do those again. He can't dive out of the ring onto his head.
No.
He can't do any of that stuff. So it's kind of just like hard. I know where he's coming from. It's like, you know, it's like, you know, the smallest thing. Like now, I feel like my knees, when I'm working out a little bit, I feel my knees now. I can still do everything, but I feel my knees. And you're like, wow.
Yeah.
It's my first inclining of like, oh, I see what this is, you know?
Right. Well, it's not until you like actually get older that you realize like, oh, I'm getting older. Like my body hurts after I sleep too well. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this didn't happen to me when I was like 17, you know?
Yeah. So anyway, it's really good, and I'm glad they documented it. And it's really interesting because there's elements of it where like Taker, there's times in there where I want to talk to him, you know?
Yeah, that's
I want to talk to him. Like when he goes to Vince and he's like, "Are you happy?" You know, and you're like, I want to just say to him like, you don't need to prove anything to anybody anymore. You're proven, man. You know what I mean? Like this,
right.
he's really hard on himself, you know?
That's how I feel when I look at Britney Spears' Instagram. I'm like, I want to just like reach in and tell her like, you're not alone in there. Like, it's okay.
Yeah. Anyway, it's some of the best content that WWE has put out. More of this, please. More.
Yeah, I love that stuff.
More real stuff. I got nervous that like they show the Reigns match and they're showing it in highlights and they make the match look really good. And I got nervous. They're going to try to tell us that match ruled, but then they show like one spot where like what was supposed to happen was like they were supposed to reverse into Reigns gives him a tombstone, I think was supposed to happen. And like Taker just couldn't get up. He falls down. It looks horrible. It's the worst spot of the match. And then they showed it. They were showing it like that was the only mess up in the match. You know what I mean?
Oh, right. They highlighted that one.
Yeah. But anyway, really good stuff. Watch it. But yeah. Oh, I didn't even talk about I have one more last topic, Erin.
Okay, let's hear it.
Listen, the Revival on Jericho's podcast.
I haven't heard it.
I listened to that. Very good. The Revival talk about them leaving WWE. The main thing I want to bring up, it's worth checking out. The main thing I want to bring out with the Revival is they actually, so those gimmick pictures of their outfits that came out, like the Vince came to them, those are fully true. That's what the exact creative that they handed to the guys. And they even say it. Just so I think this is a major point of clarification. The gimmick that Vince was pitching them was these guys dress like this because it's in spite of the fact that the tag division, the only way to get TV in the tag division is to gimmick yourself out. And so they do it ironically. Right.
The Shatter Machine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hey, hold it back up. I'll put it up on the main for the Zoom video. Yeah, so you can see here, these are the outfits that they wear, and they're wearing like do-rags and like like Flavor Flav clocks around their neck. Like they look like complete idiots. Not at all a gimmick. But the gimmick was, and they told them, we'll do this gimmick. We'll do it, and we'll go as hard as we want. But when our contract's up, we're definitely not re-signing again. Like we're not going to do that. And then they just let them go. It's worth listening to. It's a good time. But I think they made the right choice. But the $750,000 number that everyone was saying and what they offered them for salary, they also said it was higher than that. They turned down like $1 million contracts.
That's fair.
But I think they made the right choice, honestly, because when you wrestle, it's not that it's not about money. It's just that you have such a short shelf life to wrestle.
Mm-hmm.
Comedians, I feel like I'm getting funnier as I get older, which is like,
right.
I could be wrong, but like, if you look trajectory, like, like people I know, like comedians that are some of my idols were like Rodney Dangerfield didn't start till he was 50. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's not like that. You don't need your body that way,
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
just like athletes, like football players, basketball players, everyone has a shelf life. Like,
right.
Except for in baseball, you don't see a lot of professional athletes who, kind of stay out there until they're that old. So
right, you're
on the clock.
Also, WWE, if you're a tag team and a dedicated tag team, you should leave WWE because tag team wrestling is so much more respected on the indies, like and in AEW and New Japan. Like the tag team wrestling in WWE has just become. They said it in the interview, which was so true. It's like you're better off not being two talents they put together as a tag team over being an actual tag team. And the tag team division in WWE is just it's crap. Great tag teams, but the way it's showcased, there's a lot of great talents doing cool stuff. But the way there's no prestige to the tag titles, like 2 sets of them, I think. I don't ever know who has them.
Me
I
neither.
have no idea who the Raw tag team champions. I think it might be the Street Profits. I honestly don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah. And I think it's still the New Day, but I don't know. They throw them around. So anyway, worth listening to. So stuff to check out if you're looking for content and you're really not feeling like the in-ring stuff with SmackDown and Raw. Make sure to check out AEW Dynamite. The show is Dynamite.
Yeah.
It's pretty great every week, especially last week. The street fight they had at the end of AEW is so much better than that Money in the Bank match. If you want to see how to have fun with the space you have, watch that. I mean, talk about comedy. Sammy Guevara golf cart spot, which we talk about extensively in the Patreon episode, is so funny. He's running after them, and then they turn the golf cart around, and he goes at. Yeah, it's silly, but actually, it's like felt like a natural occurrence of their environment.
Right, of course, diegetic.
Yeah, it was very fucking funny. And Sammy Guevara takes a serious hit on that golf cart. He gets nailed with a golf cart.
gif of that a few times.
And by the way, Nick Tulo, congratulations to the Markitect, the Supermark. On last bonus episode, he named Sammy Guevara one of his guys. So congratulations.
Oh, wow. He's welcoming a new member to his guy family.
Yeah, that's
so
huge.
Sweet.
And
That's
Sammy's
huge.
earning it. I mean, Jebs was telling me how much he likes him. What a big this guy's really stepping up. Great.
Yeah.
So check out, if you don't want that Revival on Jericho podcast, Last Ride, exciting. I think it's 6 parts that are coming out. Should be great. And let's just see where everything goes. Everyone, that's it for this edition of the Cow podcast. But there's always more, daddies. Go to patreon.com/comedians of wrestling. Get access to our bonus episodes, our movie dissection episodes. We're watching a movie every week. This week you can watch Kickboxer Vengeance. And next Monday, Hotel Artemis, available on what platform, Marin?
Amazon Prime, baby.
Amazon Prime, baby, which you have free with Amazon Prime. Like if you're ordering stuff on Amazon, you also have the streaming service, by the way.
And you have Twitch Prime.
And you have Twitch Prime, which you can subscribe to my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/DanBlackAttack. You get a free subscription to my Twitch channel where we're watching the pay-per-views on there. See where we land.
That's fine.
Yeah. So we'll watch the pay-per-views on there.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll pop on for Raws and SmackDowns. It's just too much to stream.
Yeah, and I mean, you're kind of like leasing agreement on Silver Tiger Studios. I don't know if it covers all Monday, Friday, Wednesday evenings, so it just depends.
It took me an arm. This place took me literally an arm and a leg. I mean, the Tiger Studios will bite your limbs off, literally.
Yeah.
But
Conan O'Brien records in the next stall, the studio.
Right down the hall there.
Coco.
Yeah, he writes down the hall. Joe Rogan's literally recording right behind this wall.
Yeah, I can hear Elon Musk's voice in the background. It's crazy.
Yeah, well, he's leaving California. This is his last day here, and he's going to Texas to manufacture there.
Yeah.
Is he having a meltdown? What's going on with him? Anyway, not for this podcast. Also, check out, please, check out Dan Black Attack podcast. I think you really like it.
Great podcast.
Absolutely. Erin liked it. She had a favorite part.
I had a favorite part. It was Jamie. It was more involved Jamie than Dan, but it was still good. The Dan parts are also good.
The Dan parts are also good. People are saying that. I complain a lot about Airbnb and how I struggle to enjoy Airbnbs.
Oh, Dan, I also just wanted to say another part that I liked was, as I was listening to the pod, I had been instructed to look up Airbnbs for a weekend trip for Mike and I was literally sweating looking them up because that was stressing me out. And then you were talking about, you started talking about, I was like, this is insane.
I get so a little brief preview of it. I just get so the concept of an Airbnb as a vacation, just switching it to me. It's just in my brain. It's literally moving. It's switching houses. Yeah. And to me, all I think about is, I got to bring all my shit over there. I got a well-oiled machine. I put so much effort into making my house like fit perfectly to my lifestyle and my routine that then I got to go somewhere else and I got to cook in a different kitchen. I don't know where the spatula is. They don't even have it. I brought so much stuff over to this Airbnb and I didn't bring enough. Somehow 2 cars worth of shit. We brought both of the cars and I didn't have enough. I'd always be like, I don't have that. I don't have that. And I don't like not having that. You know what I mean?
It's better if you're out of town and you're just at the mercy of the Airbnb. You're better off because you don't have the option to go retrieve your favorite spatula.
Right. I'm a little white trash like that. What I could do is, if it's like Jamie, you want a pool? We'll get a blow up pool. Like I'll, just bring it here.
Right. Easy.
Anyway, check out Dan Black Attack podcast, available on all major everythings. You can listen to it, rate it, subscribe it, share it, please. You guys are. Are my most dedicated listeners, and I could really use your support to get this new podcast out there, especially because we're not on a major network. I do all this shit on my own by myself, and to be honest, I believe in that. I think I am not a gatekeeper guy. I go right to you guys. It's the only way I can be inspired. I talked, it's everything. It's like I go through the agent, the manager, all these people, and then your whole vision of what you want to do has just been torn apart completely. So I go right to you guys. So any support you give is to go right, keep it raw, Keep it authentic. No one else knows what the fuck they're talking about. So support it. Dig it. And, yeah.
And also just thoughts and prayers with Newman. I hope that his internet connection gets set back up. And
wow, I quickly forgot about Newman. And by the way, I think on the next Dan Black Attack pod, I'm going to tell a story about quickly forgetting someone.
Okay, noted. And congratulations to Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch.
Yeah, very exciting.
Cow Podcast is very happy for them. And
yeah. And everybody, thanks for all your support. And we'll see you on the next pod. And keep watching wrestling. Kisses. Cheers up.
Bye.